Hola y bienvenido a Inglés Desde Casa con Carlos. Today, you will learn 5 very important English verbs. Go, have, do, make, and take. But we are not going to learn them from a list. We are going to learn them through a story. A simple story about Anthony. Anthony lives in Puerto Rico. He works in an office, and he is learning English. Listen carefully, try to understand the story, and answer the questions during the episode. Let's begin. This is Anthony. Anthony is 35 years old. He lives in San Juan, Puerto Rico. He works in an office. Anthony wants to improve his English. Every day, he studies a little. Not 1 hour, not 2 hours, just a little every day. And that helps him improve. Question: where does Anthony live? A. Florida. B. Puerto Rico. Remember your answer. Let's continue. Every morning, Anthony wakes up at 6 o'clock. He drinks water. He gets ready, and then he goes to work. Listen again. He goes to work. Go significa ir. I go, you go, we go, they go. Pero recuerda, he goes, she goes, it goes. Anthony goes to work. He goes by car. Sometimes he goes to the supermarket after work. Sometimes he goes to the gym. And sometimes he goes home early. Listen, I go to work. I go home. I go to the gym. I go to the supermarket. Very good. Question: does Anthony go to work or go to school? Listen carefully. The answer is coming. Anthony goes to work. Good job. Good morning. His coworkers say, "Good morning, Anthony." Anthony smiles. He likes his job. But he wants something more. He wants better English. Because English can create opportunities. So every day he studies. Just a little, but every day. That is his secret. Anthony has a busy day. Listen, he has a busy day. Have significa tener. I have. You have. We have. They have. Pero, he has. She has. Anthony has a computer. Anthony has a desk. Anthony has a notebook. Anthony also has English books. After work, he studies with those books. Listen and repeat. I have a book. I have a computer. I have a job. I have a notebook. Excellent. Question: does Anthony have a notebook? Yes or no? The answer is yes. Anthony has a notebook. Great. At noon, Anthony has lunch. He has rice. He has chicken. He has water. During lunch, he listens to English. Not grammar, not difficult lessons. Simple English. Little by little, day by day. His English improves. That is important. Small steps create big results. After lunch, Anthony does his work. Do significa hacer. I do. You do. We do. They do. Pero, he does. She does. Listen. Anthony does his work. Anthony does his tasks. Anthony does a good job. Repeat. I do my work. I do my homework. I do my best. Very good. Question: what does Anthony do after lunch? Think for a moment. The answer? He does his work. Excellent. One day, Anthony has a problem. His manager asks, "Can you help with this project?" Anthony understands some English, but not all of it. He feels nervous. Many students feel the same way. Maybe you do too. But Anthony does not quit. He listens carefully. He asks questions. And he learns. Every mistake becomes a lesson. A few weeks later, Anthony feels more confident. Now he can make simple sentences. Make signifies create or make. Listen. Anthony makes notes. Anthony makes plans. Anthony makes progress. Repeat. I make notes. I make plans. I make progress. Excellent. Anthony studies every day, and that helps him make progress. Question. Does Anthony make excuses or make progress? The answer? He makes progress. Great job. Something begins to change. Anthony understands more English. He understands simple emails. He understands simple conversations. He feels happy. Not because he is perfect, because he is improving. Remember, you do not need to be perfect. You need to keep going. One step at a time. Now let's learn take. Take has many meanings. Listen carefully. Anthony takes the bus sometimes. Anthony takes notes. Anthony takes a break. Anthony takes his English book home. Repeat. I take notes. I take a break. I take the bus. I take my book home. Excellent. Question. What does Anthony take during class? The answer? He takes notes. Great. Let's review Anthony's day. Anthony goes to work. Anthony has a notebook. Anthony does his work. Anthony makes progress. Anthony takes notes. Listen again. He goes to work. He has a notebook. He does his work. He makes progress. He takes notes. These 5 verbs are everywhere in English. You will hear them every day. At work, at home, at school, in conversations, everywhere. Let's see how much you remember. Question 1. Where does Anthony live? Pause. Puerto Rico. Question 2. What does Anthony do every morning? Pause. He goes to work. Question 3. What does Anthony have? Pause. A notebook? A computer? English books. Question 4. What does Anthony do after lunch? Pause. He does his work. Question 5. What does Anthony make? Pause. He makes progress. Question 6. What does Anthony take? Pause. He takes notes. Excellent. Now your turn. Complete the sentences. I to work. Answer. I go to work. I a notebook. Answer. I have a notebook. I my homework. Answer. I do my homework. I progress. Answer. I make progress. I notes. Answer. I take notes. Very good. Today you learned 5 powerful verbs. Go, have, do, make, take. And you learned them through a story. Remember Anthony. He was not perfect, but he studied every day, and he improved. You can do the same. Your challenge today? Write 1 sentence with each verb. 5 sentences. That's all. Small steps. Every day. Thank you for listening to Inglés Desde Casa with Carlos. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe and join us for the next episode. See you next time. Goodbye.